It's
and
Oddworld.
Hey oddballs, I'm your host Jensen, and welcome to episode 45. If you guys hear thuds and noises in today's episode, I have a ghost. Nah, just kidding. It's my kid in the background. So yeah, I'm just letting you know. You may not hear anything. Hopefully you can totally disregard this. But anyhow, let's go on. So today we are going to learn about a piece of paranormal equipment. So let's get into it. It's
lesson
Time.
Today's paranormal equipment lesson is an octi-red pod. Octipod is a REM circuit. The closer something capacitive gets to the antenna, the more LEDs light up, and the higher pitch the tone gets. This is how REM pods and trigger props work. When in music mode, as something gets closer to the antenna, the higher the musical note. So basically this is kind of just like a REM pod in a way, but it's really cute. It's small, it's very portable, and the lights on it are pretty. The little noise that it plays is adorable. So if I've done a REM pod in the past, which I feel like I have, this one's basically the same. It's just a different version. And I'm going to link everything below. This is from theghosthunterstore.com. They have a lot of stuff on there and you guys really need to check it out. I always root for Ghost Stop, but okay, I'm going to root for really any ghost hunting store because we're all in this together. No, I really never watched High School Musical, so I so totally apologize. But anyhow, I hope you learned something. Today really wasn't as much of a lesson as it was kind of like taking another piece of paranormal equipment that is like basically the same as another one and giving it a makeover. Like I said, I'm going to link it below and you guys should just totally check it out. It's really cool. And the Ghost Hunter store has, it's literally called theghosthunterstore.com, but it has so many cool, unique things on there. And that's really all I'm going to say about that because I don't want to ramble too much. So here we go, on to stories.
This comes from Latina0403 on Reddit.
This happened when I used to live in upstate New York. About 12 years ago, I moved to Philadelphia, and I barely see or hear ghosts, except for some nightmares and sleep paralysis. In upstate New York, every house I lived in was haunted. The most haunted house was this 3-story house. It had an attic, a second floor, first floor, and a basement. This horror story happened when I was a little kid. We lived in that big old dying house. We didn't experience activity for like 6 months, maybe close to a year. And we also speak another language, so I'm assuming the ghost didn't like us and might have been racist. Only because the activity got really, really bad. We never brought anybody in to bless the house or try to communicate with the spirits. My former aunt sold the house for cheap, and we moved somewhere else. What's funny is the new house we moved to was also haunted. It started with misplaced objects, missing objects appearing in another room or random places in the house. It went from that to mimicking my family's voices and habits. I also saw a little girl whose face was blurred out. She was wearing an old-fashioned dress. I once saw a shadow dart back and forth. And my mom saw a full-bodied ghost of a black man walking from the fireplace to the bathroom and then disappearing. She saw him at 5 a.m. when she was in the kitchen looking out into the living room. She said she saw everything as if he was alive, but he disappeared into the bathroom wall. I wish I would have looked at the history on the house, but it's too late now. So the ghosts went from showing themselves to mimicking. The mimicking was the creepiest and scariest memory I had. I was 10 years old, and I remember coming home from school, and I went right inside my room to change. I began to hear the dogs whining and barking in the upstairs living room. I walked out to go look for the dogs, and I saw nothing, so I went back to my room. I heard the dogs barking and whining again in the living room. I went back out to the living room to look for them, and again, I saw nothing. This mimic ghost messed with me for a week until I got sick and tired of it. I came home from school and I closed my door. I began to hear the dogs barking and whining again. This time, I ignored it. It got more frustrated. It kept mimicking the dog barking and whining, and it escalated and got louder and louder. But I never came out of my room. I kept the door shut, and all of a sudden, everything went dead quiet. It never tried to mess with me again, but it went on to mimic all of my family's voices. Everyone in my family all saw something and heard other family members' voices calling out to them. We would ask each other, "Why did you call me?" And each time we would respond to the other by saying, "I didn't call you." My brother heard me talking and calling out his name from my room, and I was at school at the time. He was at home sick, and he told me about it, and he said he went into my room to check, and there was no one there. My mom also had a dream that one of the ghosts was telling her that they don't like us talking in an Asian language. She confessed this years later after we moved out. For some reason, the ghost only appeared to her. I only saw shadows with blurry faces and heard mimic voices. She saw the whole face and even had dreams. She said she had a dream and saw a white man that came to her and told her in English he doesn't like us talking in an Asian language. He doesn't understand what we are saying. Only my brother and I speak both languages. We would always speak in English so the ghost was able to understand. It was crazy. And it got worse and worse until we moved. We had begun to hear footsteps walking in the attic and around the house at night. The TV would turn on and off by itself. Doors would open and close by themselves. There is a door upstairs that would not close no matter what. You close it, and the next day it was wide open. This was back in the 90s, so my family never thought to buy cameras to see why the door kept opening by itself. The hauntings got so bad that each family member was being haunted by a specific ghost. My aunt kept seeing this ghost of this woman that had a routine. She would see this woman walk past her bedroom door. She followed the woman to the top of the stairs, and she saw the woman walk downstairs, and all of a sudden, she disappeared. She would also see the ghost of the woman walk from the downstairs to the upstairs. I have a feeling that this is the ghost that kept opening the door in the back. I am assuming she might have been killed while she was in that house, and she doesn't know that she is dead. I also had a dream about the same little girl that I saw before. At this time, I was only 10 years old. I think that little girl wanted to be friends. My brother had stolen one of my toys. I was crying and looking for it. I had a dream with the girl in the old-fashioned dress and the blurred-out face, where she came and talked to me. She showed me where the toy was hidden. I woke up and I went to the side of my grandma's bed, and there was my toy, hidden in the crack between the bed. The little girl was a good spirit, but the rest of the spirits were not. I had a feeling that if we did not leave the house, everyone in the family would die one by one. I think the ghost was angry because we split the house up and turned it into a duplex. We also rearranged everything in the house and threw away creepy old dresses and clothes that we found in the attic. Hi, future movie. This one is spooky to have all these different ghosts. Are you joking me right now? One, maybe two ghosts, but like literally a whole family of ghosts living in a house. To me, it sounds like there's obviously a dad, there's a mother, and a child, and then there's a couple other ghosts. And I am assuming that maybe they did, as this person assumed, they died in the house. The one that I would assume is the mom seems to just kind of be going about everyday life. If she's just walking up and down the stairs, maybe she really doesn't know that she's dead. The man, however, you're dead. And he's a little rude. Like, we need to stop that. It's 2023. And then there's the little girl, which, bless her heart, I don't know why she's a blurred face, but she seems like a good little spirit. I don't know. It just seems like this could be a really good movie. Scary that this person actually did go through this, because let's not forget this was an actual real life story. Like, this isn't just like someone's made up crap. I mean, it could be. But it's really spooky and I really liked it. And let's go ahead and move on to the next story.
This comes from jxxzyru on Reddit.
Last night, around 2 a.m., I clearly heard what was the sound of large wings flapping outside of my bedroom window. I heard the noise of the wing flaps hit my window, and it freaked me the fuck out. Immediately, I went outside to check the side of the house where my bedroom window is located, and I even went into the backyard as well, and nothing was there. Could this be spiritual? Guardian angels? Demons? What could be the explanation of this? It really just spooked the hell out of me. Was anybody thinking the Mothman? I mean, I'm not really that well educated on mythical creatures, but the Mothman came to mind. The only problem is I know the Mothman is on the East Coast, and I know that this person lives on the West Coast. So unless the Mothman is moving all the way to the West Coast, somehow I don't know if it is the Mothman or not. Unless there's multiple Mothmen, or maybe the Mothman has moth babies. I don't know. But if you know, or if you have any idea, please let me know. If you've had an experience like either story today, would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. And as always, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And well, it's an odd world after all.
Oddballs. Go follow us on It's an Odd World After All podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Also, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. If you have a story you would like to share, email us at it'sanoddworldafterall@gmail.com or message us on one of our social platforms. Don't forget to share us with your family and friends. And check out our website. It's an oddworldafterall.com.